Agatha is now dissipated. However, its remnants are now expected to head to the Gulf of Mexico and redevelop and potentially hit Florida. Hello, I am Pat from Pat's Path Predictor, and let's go ahead and get right into this. Alright, so this is what we have right here. The remnants of Agatha dissipated at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time, May 31st, 2022. And so that's basically the last time we're going to see it. The maximum sustained winds were at 30 miles per hour. Time of dissipation. It's moving northeast to 8. Its location was at 17.3 degrees north, 94.9 degrees west. So that's pretty much all we're going to talk about Agatha. This is pretty much the last video we're ever going to talk about it. As you can see it on the NHC website, it says it pretty much dissipated. So yeah, that's just a quick intro. But now we have to get into into the redevelopment of this, because now there's an area of interest right here, according to the NHC, and this is disturbance 1, as it's called. Now has a 60% chance of development in the next 5 days. So it's now likely to develop. So let's go ahead and read what the NHC is putting out. Near the Yucatan Peninsula in the southeastern Gulf of Mexico, a large and complex area of low pressure is expected to develop near the Yucatan Peninsula and the northwestern Caribbean Sea in a couple of days, partially related to the remnants of Agatha from the eastern Pacific. Despite strong upper-level winds over the area, this system could become a tropical depression while it moves northeastward over the northwestern Caribbean Sea and southeastern Gulf of Mexico this week. Regardless of development, there will be locally heavy rainfall across portions of southeastern Mexico and locally heavy rainfall as well. It's also going to be prevalent in the Yucatan Peninsula, Guatemala, Belize, and then spreading into western Cuba and Florida by the end of this week. Formation chance in the next 48 hours is now 10%. Formation chance in the next 5 days is now 60%. So everyone needs to pay attention to that. Let's actually take a look at the tracks real quickly just to show you where we're thinking it's going to go. So several models now have this thing approaching south of Tampa area right here. This thing, basically, it's going to move through the Gulf of Mexico, go through those warm waters. I want to show you the warm waters very quickly right here. This is how warm the waters are in the Gulf of Mexico right now. There's a rain. We're seeing 29 degrees Celsius, which is equivalent to 82 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit right there. So, yeah, plenty of warm water for this thing to intensify. But what's going to limit this is the wind shear. In fact, this is the wind shear right now for that area. If we can move that, there we go. So this is the wind shear we're seeing right now. This is for from the Yucatan Peninsula all the way to South Florida. It's likely going to move into a rather unfavorable. Right now, there's unfavorable wind shear right here, and if that stays there, it's going to limit its chance of development, because that's 60 knots of wind shear right there, and that's incredibly powerful. However, I have been noticing if we actually go back on this, these things don't just stay in one place, and they usually move. They move every once in a while. So basically, this thing is not only moving out, it's also weakening as well. It's also going through a weakening trend. So if that weakening trend continues, those conditions could become more favorable for development, and it's especially going to become more favorable for development as it approaches Florida. So I want everyone to understand that it may not be able to develop right away once it hits the water, but those chances will increase as it approaches Florida. So we all need to pay attention to this. Like I said before, the water temperatures, they're pretty good. They are pretty good for development. It's just that wind shear that's going to be limiting it. And I'll be paying attention to this over the next few days to see if this thing is going to basically just tear it. This wind shear is going to tear it apart, or if it's going to overcome that. And if it does overcome that wind shear in the Caribbean over here, then it'll have a better chance at developing into a tropical depression or even a tropical storm. But that's a video for another time. With that being said, it's going to pretty much wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out and helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather and inform the public about potential weather threats like this. So if you're in Florida, you need to pay attention to this and keep an eye on it for the next few days. But with that being said, guys, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.